Are we recording like right now?
Yeah, I'm going, so I'm ready.
Oh, heck yeah, dude. Hey, mediocre fam. It is I, Anthony Elliott. I'm sitting down with my best friend in the world, AJ. We were just having not even a malfunction, just I don't think this has ever happened. This is exciting. Um, hey AJ, how is AJ today?
AJ's pretty well. He's fine. He's fine.
Okay.
I think I had like a 24-hour like little bug thing. So yesterday I was like fairly bedridden. I mean, I still worked because I work from home. It's not that hard to work. But I didn't work a full day. That's for sure. I had to take a nap in the middle of it. But today I'm feeling fine. A lot better. A lot better. But I'm still lethargic. How are you, Anthony?
No, I understand. I'm good. I'm good. I had like not a bug actually. I went to the post office, did things, I ran errands. I took a nap, AJ. I had a pretty successful day, I feel. But you want to know something? We
Yeah.
do need to normalize like mid-day naps, like mid-workday naps. I know it's like a thing in Italy and other European countries. We
Hmm.
need America. We got to get right. If we're going to be the best country in the world, we have to implement naps in a 40-hour work week. I'm just
See,
saying.
you know what's crazy actually about our sleep schedule, and we'll get to video games here in a bit. Um, Humans aren't designed to sleep 8 hours straight through the night.
Mhm.
We're actually designed to sleep 4 hours and then 4 hours. So we're supposed to like sleep, and I don't know the exact times that we're technically
Mhm.
supposed to sleep. We're supposed to sleep till like 5 or 6 a.m. or something like that. Then you would work and then sleep for 4 hours. Um, you eat lunch, sleep, and you wake up, have dinner, and then like work another like 4 hours, and then you would have the rest of that time till you'd sleep again at like midnight or whatever to like do whatever. It's really interesting. Like that's how we're like our bodies were wired to work originally, which is interesting.
I mean, it makes more sense when you think about cavemen and how nomadic the original
Mm-hmm.
bipedal humans were, and they kind of had to not sleep for long times, otherwise a bear would eat them. But um,
Yeah.
I will say my sleep schedule did mimic that when our topic of the day came out, the Nintendo Wii. Everyone, applause for that transition. Thank you, thank you.
It was great. It was great. Yeah, so today we're going to talk about the Wii craze because my God, was it a craze when it came out? I mean, they were impossible to find. It was the new craziest thing in gaming technology, even though it was way underpowered. And really, a lot of that came from Wii Sports. Wii Sports was I think, the most popular tech demo anyone could ever make.
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Wii Sports come with the original Wii? So as soon
Yeah.
as you took it out the box, it had a game.
Yep.
This was on a disc, by the way. None of that software stuff that came much later.
Oh,
Even though
granted,
you could get software on the
yeah,
Wii.
the Wii definitely had like they had the Wii Shop channel and like tons of WiiWare and virtual arcade games to play to. You know, you had all your NES, SNES, like Commodore 64, Sega Genesis. Like there was tons of game consoles also on their virtual console. So there was stuff, but yeah, this is back in the day of discs.
Yeah, and yes, fam. I remember the kind of moment that blew my mind. I got a Wii when it first came out, because either you got it when it first came out or you didn't get it for like another year and a half. Because again, these things were really stupid hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Christmas during the era of the Nintendo Wii, I'm gonna tell you this right now, it sucked if you worked in retail because everybody blamed you for the fact that you didn't have a Wii in your store, and not the fact it was the most popular console, period, up until that point.
Yeah, yeah, and a large part of that is because it was the most accessible console for I would even say even still that rings true to today for people across all ages.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like VR in the way where like it moves your body, right? Like you could throw someone who's barely played any video games into VR and they kind of have a general grasp of how to do it because it's move your hand, it moves your hand. Like it works like your real body. Same with the Wii remote, right? You swing the racket with your hand, it swings on the TV. Like it can't be any simpler. And that was one thing that Nintendo really wanted to push. Coming into the PS3 and Xbox 360 generation, the seventh console generation, um, Iwata just became president, and he decided that it wasn't a smart idea to compete directly with Sony and Xbox with processing power. So they decided to innovate in other ways instead, and so they decided to target a broader audience, which led to this Wii craze.
And there's a couple of fun facts about the Wii. There's so many fun facts about the Nintendo Wii. It's kind of insane. But I mean, when you look at the actual hardware capabilities of the Nintendo Wii, when the source code leaked, when the Nintendo leaks happened and the Nintendo Wii source code leaked, it's almost verbatim the same as a Nintendo GameCube, except for the motion controls. It was literally a Nintendo GameCube running the modern day games, and I'm saying modern day, I don't know, X-Men Origins Wolverine was on the Wii. That's a weird but true one. Spider-Man Web of Shadows, nobody remembers that.
A lot of Call of Duties were on the Wii, which is interesting.
Yeah!
And there's actually people that genuinely prefer those controls over regular just because it's easier to aim. You're literally using an aimer. So I think that's pretty interesting. And a little fun fact that I didn't know about the Wii until I did a little research. It's 1.5 to 2 times more powerful than the GameCube. I thought it was identical, but apparently the processing power is more. Which, I mean, does make sense, because I mean, towards the end, we got games like Xenoblade Chronicles, like that first one. That ran on the Wii.
It did. Same with a lot of Wii games. Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, that's another one. Real deep cut. Shout out to all my Lucas heads out there.
Monster Hunter Tri is another heavy one for it to run.
But I mean, when we're talking about twice as powerful as the GameCube, and you put that up against the Xbox 360, let's put that into perspective, where it might as well have been the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I mean, and again, like that was their whole thing. Was they weren't trying to compete with them. They're trying to essentially become their own pillar within gaming. And I think Nintendo's really struck that chord even to today with the Switch. Like, I think they're still kind of their own pillar within the gaming community, and let PlayStation, Xbox kind of duke it out for like top processing power, which is smart. I mean, it's worked in their favor if you ignore the Wii U.
Yeah, and I will say again, the Wii U had the potential to be great, because what the Wii U is, if you look at the Wii U now and you look at the Nintendo Switch, you look at like the 3DSi or 3DSi, DSi, 3DS. There we go. You look at these consoles that they're releasing around the same time, you just go, oh, they wanted to make the Switch like a decade ago.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You know what's really interesting is they took inspiration for the Wii from 2 different things. First of all, one of them is Dance Dance Revolution. He saw how the gamepad was, it's like, you know, completely unique to that. So they want to do something where it was unique to the console. But the second one is the DS. And in fact, they wanted to do a 2-screen kind of thing, which is, I think, what turned into the idea for the Wii U. They want to do a 2-screen thing, and they've said on record that if the DS failed, they would have gone back to the drawing board on the Wii.
And then also nobody expected the DS to be what it became, because I mean, they were coming fresh off the Game Boy, but at this point in time, you got to remember, the PSP was a problem. The PS Vita was, I think it didn't come out like in the middle of the Wii's like life cycle. Like it was a problem.
It was probably more towards, it was middle to end, yeah. Because,
like right there in the middle.
Yeah, because the PSP and DS were like definitely like, whoa, like I remember gamers were like, the PSP is better than the DS in every way, but
the DS is cooler.
The only reason why the DS won, well, yeah, I mean, part of it was it's cooler, but really the main reason, as we've talked about in a podcast previously, is the game output on PSP was just ass. Like that.
Yeah.
When you're competing against New Super Mario Bros. Versus Agent Clank, like there's only so much you can do to make the PSP like compete then.
Yeah, no, I mean, and granted, the PSP had a couple of like cool exclusives. Assassin's Creed Bloodline was on there. There was a God of War game, but AJ, I'm gonna tell you a secret. I can't blow on my PSP and knock dust off of things in God of War, but I can on the DS. Shout out to Spectrobes.
Yeah. And then don't even get me started on the juggernaut that was Nintendogs back in the day. That game was an absolute banger.
Okay. To everyone listening, and if you don't know what Nintendogs is, I want you to just look at it, because looking back at it, the models were ugly. Oh, yeah. The gameplay was super simple. But the grip that this had on children that weren't allowed to go outside and have real dogs, which was apparently a lot, kind of stupid. My cousins had Nintendogs. My cousins are not gamers. But they didn't have a real dog, but they had like 15 Nintendogs. It was insane.
The fact that we don't have a Nintendogs mobile blows my mind. That's print money.
That would print money.
Yep.
Oh my. Okay. And then again, Nintendogs, big deal. The Nintendo DS, big deal. But AJ, you remember how Pokemon Go came and literally took the planet by storm?
Mm-hmm.
That's how
Absolutely.
the Nintendo Wii was. My grandma had played a Nintendo Wii. My uncles had a Nintendo Wii. My aunts had a Nintendo Wii. Like everyone had a Nintendo Wii, knew what it was, and had played one. It was kind of stupendous.
Yeah, again, because it's super accessible. I mean, to this day, I could bust out the Wii and my parents would be like, "Hey, you want to play some golf?" Like,
Yo, listen. Man, my aunt gave us a Wii. My aunt, my girlfriend, gave us a Wii before she moved to LA. She since moved back, but I need Nintendo Wii controllers because she got a console without controllers. I don't know how this happened. I just know I have a Nintendo Wii now.
hey, nice, get yourself some controllers. They're super cheap. Like just Wii Sports alone. Like back when I was in college, me and my buddies all the time would bust out the Wii and either bowl or golf, sip some beers. Like it was super super fun. Like we would
Oh, the tennis. The tennis
oh
was
of
my
course tennis too. Yeah, tennis is my jam as a kid. um
Where did you go? Your eyes were not on Earth. Where did you
no
go?
no I completely, I had a story and lost it. Oh yeah. I'm back to earth.
Okay, there we go.
I went to Mars with SpaceX and Elon, and now I'm back.
Oh my God.
Elon had me
Welcome
for a
home.
second.
That's scary.
Right? Terrifying. So, of course, I wanted a Wii as a kid, right?
Hmm.
When they first came out, I wanted it. My parents were like, no, we're not going to get it. Like, you have plenty of video game, like, right away, right? They're like,
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
we're not just going to drop the money on this. You have plenty of video games. What you can do is earn your way up to it. And so
Okay.
we here in where I live, I'm about to dox myself a bit, in Omaha, Nebraska, we have a event every year in the summer called the College World Series, which is just the the final tournament or whatever for college baseball players. They all come here because it's central in the United States. And so what I would do is my parents owned a promotional marketing company, and so they had like self-promotion, like little fans and binoculars. And we would load it up in this thing called a cruising cooler, which is an electric writable cooler, which they also got being in the industry. And so we loaded that thing up, and I would ride around the parking lot selling fans and binoculars with their logos on it. So they were getting free advertising, and all the money I got went to a Wii. So I spent like my whole time while they were tailgating just riding around selling this shit. Definitely illegal. Was they like told me to hide from security, make sure you're not going down this like selling it when they're by. They were not fans of me, but either way, I made enough that summer then over like that week and a half time span to get myself a Wii. So then after that, I bought a Wii probably like a month later once they were a little bit more available. But yeah, that's how I got my first Wii.
That is. It's not how I got my first Wii.
I'm sure it's how no one else got theirs.
I was going to say, my dad was an early adopter of a lot of things. I need you to understand, when I say my dad was an early adopter, my dad had a Palm Pre. AJ, do you remember the Palm?
My mom had one. I convinced her to get one because I was like, yo, these are sick. And she was like, I don't know, are you sure? And then the sales dude at fucking Sprint was like, they're pretty sick.
Oh my God, my pops had a Palm Pre, and I remember him being so annoyed that when he got it, he wouldn't be able to take videos on it, and then he got a software download to be able to take videos, and he was like, wow, the future is now. And so when the Nintendo Wii came out, he was like, I gotta get it, and if I don't get it, I'm gonna get one. And so he got it, and it was the thing, and I played it literally until the cows came home.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing. So what's your favorite Wii game?
AJ, that's hard because I love so many of them. I
Mm-hmm.
remember Star Wars: The Force Unleashed was coming out, the first one,
Yep.
and it was a big deal because each different version of the game was slightly different. Like for example, on the Nintendo DS, you could select the moves a whole lot quicker and easier and make stupid combos.
Mm-hmm.
On the Nintendo Wii though, you get the motion controls and you get a versus feature.
Yep. I know
Uh
exactly.
huh.
That's I
Uh
had the
huh.
Wii
Yep.
version, so yep.
Yep. And the PS3 and 360 just looked really, really like dope as I'm not gonna cuss. Looked
Mm-hmm.
really great. And yeah, I was like, dog, you gotta get the verses and play as Anakin as and Obi-Wan and just fight each other all day. I mean, obviously I'm a nerd. I'm gonna pick a Asajj Ventress. I will. I'm gonna do it.
Oh,
I'm gonna pick a Asajj every
for
time
sure.
because she's dope. And but yeah, no. That was fun. Gosh. I we can make a list. AJ, what's one of your favorites? Because we could be here all day.
See, it's really hard. I agree because I'm torn between really like four different games. Ignoring Wii
Okay.
Sports because I think that's just kind of a default. Like I would say
It's
Wii
a tech
Sports
demo.
just because like it is a tech demo, but like it was like a revolutionary one, right?
Oh,
So
it was
like,
dope though.
oh, super dope. So I'm not gonna count that. So I'm torn between New Super Mario Bros. Wii just because that
Okay.
was like iconic. It brought back 2D Mario, and I mean I did play the shit out of it, co-op, all that. Mario Kart Wii. Mar-
Mario Kart Wii was a problem.
yeah, dude. Mario Kart Wii is a
Yeah.
banger. Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Of course.
Yep, yep. And that's also like one of my favorite series of all time.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Mario Galaxy.
Ooh, people don't talk about Mario Galaxy enough. Mario Galaxy, like, because
Mm-hmm.
obviously we had 3D Mario. We had Mario 64. Mario Galaxy took Mario to the next generation in a way we didn't really think was possible. Because obviously
Yeah.
Mario was on the GameCube, but Mario Galaxy was like, wait, what?
It was an event to say the least. So I would say mm, I have the most fond memories of Brawl, so my personal votes got to go to Brawl, but out of that list I think Mario Galaxy deserves it the most. For
Mm,
one, just still being a pretty game to this day. Even though it's on the Wii, that game
it's
is still
really pretty.
gorgeous. Those graphics are fairly timeless. And
Yeah.
just being like the monumental Mario game that it is. I mean, to this day, there's people like, that's like still the best one, you know?
You know, Super Mario Galaxy was insane. Oh man. Then I got another one. This was one I remember. This is when I knew I had an unhealthy relationship with video
Mm-hmm.
games. Welcome to a video game podcast. Because I remember this something happened where me, my two female cousins all got like $60 or whatever, or like not even $70, whatever
Yeah.
the case was. And they were like, all right, cool, here's some money. Don't spend it all in one place. Ha ha ha. But I was like,
Mm-hmm.
are you stupid? I'm gonna get a copy of Spider-Man Web of Shadows right now. Why are you saying to me? Right? And so I got a copy, and I think I saw them later that day. It was like, oh, did you spend all the money? And I was like, yeah. And so, yeah, no, Spider-Man Web of Shadows on the Nintendo Wii, underrated. Because it's one of those things where it's like, first of all, Spider-Man Web of Shadows is a dope game. I'm
Mm-hmm.
pissed there aren't more games like it. The wall combat, my dude, the fact that you could really be breakdancing on like the roof and fight like
So
15 different
sick.
people and
Yeah.
jump down and fight 15 more people. It was dope. Anyway, but on the Wii, it was actually very, 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 very difficult to get great at. You can get good at it, but I'll never forget there's a mission where you're Spider-Man and you gotta watch this thing go down on top of a roof. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, cool. Yeah. All right, cool. I gotta watch this thing. And then out of nowhere, your spider senses go off. You realize there's like 14 snipers on 14 different buildings, all waiting for this one moment. And you go, oh man, I gotta like web zip to them all, right? And the way that you lock on and the way you had to get the motion control on the Wii just right, so you had to get the timing just right. It's like, oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. That game, yeah. Spider-Man Web of Shadows kind of blew my mind, and the way you changed the suit was cool. Do you remember Spider-Man Web of Shadows?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you remember it on the Wii?
I didn't play it on the Wii, so no.
Uh-huh. Because I'm sure I think on the 360 it was just a button press, right?
Yeah.
But on the Nintendo Wii, the way you change your suits is you would shake the nunchuck, and it just felt so good. And then like the Wii remote would
Uh,
make the little like it would sound like just, and I was like, oh yeah,
that
baby, I'm
crunchy ass
back.
speaker.
It was so good. It was so good.
Interesting. I didn't expect a Web of Shadows to be your top Wii pick, but I'm about it. I'm with it. I'm
And
with
plus,
it.
like the way you would swing was also dope because you would actually like swing and like use the web swing and the motion controls. It made a lot of sense. It should have been
Yeah.
a Wii exclusive. Nintendo, you fumbled that. Anyway,
I think I mean, that, or they could have just made a Wii exclusive Spider-Man side of that. Like, I think you could do
It
a lot of cool
wouldn't have
things
been
with
as
the
good,
swinging.
AJ.
I, I'll give it that. I'll give it that. It might not have. It might not have.
Because here's the thing, I love Nintendo. They don't do licensed anything great. But Spider-Man Web of Shadows, first of all, that was Treyarch made Spider-Man Web of Shadows, the people that made
Mhm.
like half of all Call of Duty games ever. And this was before a lot of weird licensing things. This was right before Marvel bought Disney was bought. No, Disney bought Marvel. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
This was right before a bunch of different licensing things like cracked off. And so it's just a lot of comic book accurate just heroes just all in like a space, and like the Black Widow's Russian and like speaks in a weird Russian accent. It's so weird but so cool, and it would
So
never
cool.
happen again.
Yeah. So back to a little bit of like fun facts about the Wii. Uh,
Yes.
the Wii Mini was a very interesting reiteration of the console. It stripped out all internet, SD, and like external SD storage
Mm-hmm.
capabilities. GameCube was removed. Like, there's a ton of stuff that was removed from it. But what's really, really interesting is it was still being sold until 2017 after the Switch had released.
Well, they probably just had a bunch
I would
like in a warehouse
imagine. I would
somewhere.
imagine that's the
Because
case.
here's the thing, I don't think they probably made as many. Well, no, I know for a fact they didn't make as many Wii Minis as the Nintendo Wii. However, comma, I think they were expecting. Okay, you got little Sally, you got little Johnny. They both like Nintendo Wii games. They don't
Hmm.
like the internet, and they aren't emotionally attached to the GameCube. Because little Sally and little Johnny, this is like their first Nintendo moment. Maybe they had a Game Boy, maybe they have a DS, but they for sure aren't touching a GameCube, and that's a shame, unfortunately, but it's true. And
Yeah.
so yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And also, it was less expensive, so now mom and
Yep.
dad can go, okay, great. I get them this Wii. They shut up. They play Wii Sports for like 9 hours a day. I get to drink a beer and watch March Madness. Everything's all right.
Everything's kumbaya with the world.
Exactly. That
Speaking of,
makes sense.
speaking of which, across all Wii versions, total number of units sold 101.63 million units sold. So it is the fifth most popular console ever, which seems like a low ranking in that tier list. Number five
Let me.
seems
I was
low
gonna
for the
say,
Wii.
let me guess the competition, because we're forgetting like 4 or 5 really really heavy hitters. In the PlayStation 2, like number 4, number 3.
PlayStation 2 is still number one.
Okay, there
Barely.
we go.
Barely.
Barely. Then what else? We have the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 was, no, it's not the PS4. What is it?
Switch. Switch is knocking
Switch.
on their
Okay.
door. Switch is knocking
Switch.
on their
Okay.
door.
Okay, so we got the Switch. PS4 isn't on there. Is the PS5 on there?
I don't know what the rest of the list is. I just know that the PS2 and the Switch are like neck and neck right now for number one.
So hold please, because this is actually a very very interesting conversation. Because again, it can't be overstated how successful the Nintendo Wii was. It
Mm-hmm.
was very briefly the highest selling console of all time. Very briefly, didn't last long,
Mm,
but
they never
wasn't
surpassed
it?
the PS2.
Oh, it never
No,
like ever.
PS2 is just a fucking juggernaut. Well, because you have to realize the PS2 was about the same cost as a DVD player and could play DVDs. So a lot of people were like,
Yeah,
if they
okay,
needed a
yeah,
DVD player, might as well get a PS2 because now I have the option of playing games. Like, why wouldn't
yeah.
I?
Playing God of War.
So that's like a
Okay.
massive reason why it sold so much.
Okay, okay. I'm looking at a list. This is a Wikipedia list. It's probably not vetted. So let's see. PlayStation 2, 155 million at least. Probably more than that if you really take a step back.
It's
I don't think Sony
160 because Switch is now like 150. And then Sony came out, they're like, oh no, it's actually 160.
Yep, yep. Okay, that sounds like something Sony would do. How can we forget the Nintendo DS? 150 million units. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the Wii sold how many units? 127?
101.63.
101.63. So then the regular PlayStation and PlayStation 4.
Okay, interesting, interesting. And yeah, my numbers also could be wrong. You know, I could have probably done a little bit more digging into that, but still,
Okay, AJ, I forgive you. Don't worry. I
still,
forgive your transgressions against Sony, our overlords.
still crazy how much it sold, and it's crazy that it's not in the top three with how like it like is yeah the Switch is big, yeah the PS2 is big, Like the PS4, the DS, all those consoles are big, but none of them felt as monumental as the Wii did when it came out. None of them
Yeah, I
had
like,
literally crowds busting down the doors to buy these consoles.
yeah. The Nintendo Wii was so good that the Xbox made Connect.
And the PlayStation made the Move.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about the Move. The Move is Sony's biggest flop that nobody ever talked
Because
about.
they did, like, you got to give credit to Microsoft. They at least were like, okay, we see the Wii. We're not going to beat them. So let's innovate and make your body the controller. Fantastic idea. PlayStation said, let's just make a better one. And it was like just two wands. And everyone was like,
Oh
I
yeah,
have
with
a
the
Wii.
bubbles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everyone was
Oh
like,
yeah.
I already have a Wii. Why would I buy this? It doesn't, I don't care. It doesn't have Wii Sports.
Yeah, I think I saw someone actually map Gravity Rush to the two little balls at one point, and so like it actually felt really cool to like move your camera and everything around.
Sick.
Yeah, it was the coolest thing ever. But you want to know what PlayStation doesn't do? Cool stuff all the time. They make real pretty games, and sometimes those pretty games are real good. But if they had put Gravity Rush on the PlayStation Move, I guarantee you, we'd be on like Gravity Rush 7 now.
Dude, that would have been fucking sick. I mean, and the PlayStation Move is still technically alive today in a way. Through the PlayStation, well, not anymore. The first PlayStation VR used those controllers still.
Mm-hmm.
The new PSVR 2 doesn't. It now looks a lot more like an Oculus with their controllers. But the PlayStation Move was still active up until fairly recently, relatively speaking.
Yeah. Oh man. Wasn't Beat Saber on the PlayStation Move? Did I make that up?
Not on the Move. It's on the PlayStation VR.
VR,
it wasn't
okay,
around,
cool.
I don't think.
Oh, but it used the Move controllers. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I understand now. I understand. My point is, the Nintendo Wii cannot be overstated. It kind of shifted gaming in a way. It made gaming like not just for niche little nerds who like definitely just need to go outside.
Mm-hmm.
It made it for everybody in a way that it felt approachable. Not to mention like Red Steel 2. It's a real gamer game. Mad World, gamer ass game.
Oh yeah. Also, let's not forget that it created the juggernaut that is maybe not quite anymore, but Just Dance. That was huge when that came out. That was a big
Just Dance
deal.
Was, yeah.
Also, you can't have a Wii episode and not highlight the Wii series of games. You know,
of course,
we have Wii Sports Resort, Wii Fit, Wii Music, Wii Chess, which never came out here in North America, Wii Play Motion, Wii Fit and Wii Fit Plus, and Wii Party. So they actually had like quite a large scope of Wii branded games, and they're all like really well made for the most part. I mean, yeah, Wii Music is Wii Music, but I mean, you look at Wii Play, Sports Resort, Wii Play Motion Plus, Wii Fit, even like those are all really cool games.
Shout out to the Wii Fit. We actually just talking about the Wii Fit today at work. The Wii Fit would call people fat, and that was so funny. For those of us who don't remember the Wii Fit, you had to buy an attachment or addition, whatever, I forget. Basically, it was a scale. It was more than a scale.
The balance board.
It was a balance board. That's what it was called. Thank you, AJ. I appreciate that. Balance board, and you would sit on it, step on it. It was a scale, and it would be like, oh, obese, and just straightforward.
It called everyone obese.
Called everyone obese.
Literally everyone. So prior to the Wii coming out, I think this is really interesting. The code name for it was Revolution. And that's because Nintendo saw this game or this console as being a revolution in the gaming community. Mm-hmm. And I would say they're fairly right in calling it that.
Yeah, I think the Nintendo Wii is the only time Nintendo's been right about anything. Because here's the problem. The GameCube, way ahead of its time. Way ahead of its time. People are still getting online with their GameCube now and playing that weird Zelda game online.
Four Swords Adventures.
I believe was it that one?
No, that's the one. That's the one with the Game
Twilight
Boy.
Princess was Wii.
And Twilight Princess was on the GameCube also, but that game wasn't online. That game wasn't online. No. That was just like another standard, just Zelda game.
But I forget. My point is, you can take it online now. Kind of like with the Sega Dreamcast, you can
Yep.
take it online now. It's just a lot of those servers aren't around, or if they are around, they're not around as much.
And GameCube
But yeah,
Online wasn't like officially supported. Like it was a thing. It was like because you had to get like an attachment and like do all this extra stuff. But Wii was the first Nintendo console that had true integrated support. Just like
yeah.
how they had with the store and everything like that. I mean, you had Smash Bros. Brawl Online, which was
Smash
atrocious.
Bros. Brawl Online was nasty work. However, and this was before online gaming like was huge. I mean, if we're talking GameCube era, it wasn't until the 360, PS3 when it's like, yeah, this makes
Mm,
sense. And so it wasn't until really like Smash Brothers Brawl when it was like, yeah, nah, this is the next level.
yeah, absolutely. And that was Smash Bros. Brawl is such a bittersweet game for me because
Why?
it's the worst game in the series. I mean, maybe not as bad as Nintendo 64's, but like that was the first one the series is on N64. You can't really blame it. Mainly being because the slip mechanic.
Mm.
Sakurai didn't like how it was becoming so competitive, especially with Melee, because that game is like super competitive, like with
Yeah,
frame perfect
class.
moves and stuff. And so he didn't like that. He wanted it to be a family game that you play with your friends. And so he made a slip mechanic where you would randomly slip and fall on your ass. And there's nothing you could do to avoid it. It just would happen. And so that has made it technically the worst one due to that. But at the same time, I'd argue it's one of the best ones because it has a true campaign with the subspace emissary that was
Yeah.
so awesome to play with my friends back in the day. And I hate how there
Yeah.
isn't a good one. In fact, do you know the reason why he won't make another one?
Why won't he make another? Well, okay, time out. Because in the latest one, there is this weird JRPG mechanic
Mm-hmm.
where you play as Kirby and you rescue everybody. But why isn't there like an official campaign?
Because people, this is according to Sakurai, people uploaded the cutscenes to the subspace emissary, and he saw those cutscenes as rewards for getting through it. And so, because people did that, he decided not to make another one.
Sakurai's a weird person, so that's a weird answer, and I expected
That's
nothing
like the
different.
most Nintendo answer I could have ever asked for.
Because here's the thing. It's a video game, dog, and I understand it's a reward for putting in a lot of work in a
Mm,
very, very difficult game to like master and get great at. But it's a video game, dog. Like
who
that
cares?
would be yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is and then like you're not selling the cutscenes, you're selling the game. It's different when a movie leaks online.
Yeah.
It's different when like a show leaks online. But this is to tie gameplay together.
If anything, kids that watched those cutscenes that didn't have a Wii only made them want to get the game more because they wanted to be playing as those characters fighting. Like that would only push you to further get it. So I thought that was an interesting like way to like an interesting excuse. But and yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, I'm sure that is actually his reasoning though. And yeah, Nintendo has a number of strange and just weird things that they just do and operate. I still don't understand why amiibos exist. Like to this day, I don't get it.
they had one cool use, and it was in Smash Brothers, where like you could train them up, and they would fight, kind of like how Dragon's Dogma is doing it with the pawns, right? Like
Mhm.
they kind of fight like your fight style and everything, and that's a really cool idea. I gotta give it to them. It's kind of hard because they didn't want Amiibo to be like Skylanders and Disney Infinity and all of
Yeah,
that, because
even
then
though that's what it is, but that's cool.
you lock out content with those. Like you can't play those characters, you can't go to their worlds, their campaigns, all that unless you buy the things. They wanted Amiibo to be like an optional thing, right? Like it is not at all monumental to the gameplay, but at the same time it also makes them feel worthless when you do that. So it's kind of tough to balance that.
It's super tough. But I mean, also like the amiibos were like the cool Skylanders for I mean specifically for
Mm-hmm.
Smash, just because like yeah, if I play Ike, no two Ikes play the same, which is why every Smash Brothers tournament is so fascinating to watch
Mm-hmm.
because just the different strategies, the way they implement the exact same skill set is insane. But
Absolutely.
yeah, that's
I would
yeah.
love for Nintendo to go back now that Amiibo's been released for a while and make one like kind of Skylanders like a game for Amiibo, where any of those Amiibos you got over the years you could scan and they hop into the game. I understand why they didn't do it initially, but I think now that it's been out for a while, if you're interested in Amiibo, get the game. If you're not interested in Amiibo, Don't touch it. I just think that'd be neat.
So I think we're past the Amiibo
Oh,
Skylanders
absolutely.
phase. 'Cause again, it was cool. Like when it first happened, it's like, wow, like this is actually really cool and interesting.
Hmm.
However, comma, we're well past that.
Oh, absolutely. It's dead now. But just wait. I'm calling it. In
Oh,
10 years, those
hmm
them rare Skylanders are going to be worth quite a bit of money because when those kids that played it as a kid grow up, just like how GameCube prices are just spiking. All those games because
Okay.
everyone in
Yeah.
that generation now has grown up and want to play them again. Those kids grow up and want to play it again. Guarantee you, the prices will start going up.
Do you think we're gonna get to like kind of how a lot of retro game tournaments are now? We're gonna get to like a Skylanders type tournament where it's like, bring your Skyland.
No
AJ,
way.
do you not want the Skylanders anime of people like growing up and go like, wow, I gotta find my long lost Skylander
Oh,
and bring it to
that
tournaments and stuff?
that is cool. I just the tournament is where you lost me because I Skylanders is like a co-op like single player game, so I don't know how you do a tournament.
Okay, but what if they had? Okay, AJ, hold up. We gotta pitch this to somebody. I don't even know if the company didn't they get bought by Disney. It doesn't even matter. Watch this. Somebody just rip this idea and do it with different software. It's fine. Put
Nintendo,
a
do it
different
with
name on
Amiibo.
it. Nintendo, do it with the Amiibo, exactly. You take, let's say it's like a new tournament thing. It's like the Battle Wars. It's like, it's a Smash Brothers style fight, 2D beat 'em up type thing, right? Okay, cool. And you can train up your Skylander to use a specific move set, a specific way to do whatever. You could take it to tournaments and then you could see how they do. And then to promote this item, right? Whatever we're gonna call it, Amiibo 2, doesn't matter.
Hmm.
You have an anime of just this guy that's like, oh man, like I gotta find my long lost Amiibo. And then they finds it and he's like, wow, I wonder if it's as good as I remember it. And it's trash. It sucks, AJ, because he last time he played he was 12. He's a grown man now. It sucks. Okay, but now he's like, I gotta get good at it. And then the Amiibo talks to him, and so like when he's in his hand, it's like, yeah, we gotta fight good. It's like, whoa, what's going on? But then you plug it in the game, and it's like, we've got this. Follow me, and like it's really cool. I like that.
I
That
like
is
that
fun.
idea. That's
Someone,
super fun.
someone do that.
What they could do instead of a Smash like, because we already have Smash, where it's a big character crossovers. It could be more like a Tekken or like a Pokken kind of thing, where it's like that 3D arena or like every anime game ever made.
Oh yeah,
Do like a
yeah.
3D arena kind of thing, and then
Yeah.
then have it be like Amiibo and it just this huge crossover of all these Nintendo IPs. I think that'd be really cool.
Oh, dude. But okay, so if they did it like that, you can't call it Smash Brothers unless you call it Smash Brothers X Tekken. How do we feel? How do
Uh,
we feel? How do we
Smashing.
feel? Smashing. But no, kind of like how you got Street Fighter X Tekken or Tekken X Street Fighter.
Well,
Two
so
different
I was
things.
thinking Pokken because Pokken is Pokemon Tekken.
Yeah. Okay. Smeckin.
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 I
Smeckin.
hate that name. I
I
love it
love
at the
it
same
so much.
time. I love it because I hate it.
Smeckin. Are we
Smeckin.
going to the Smeckin tournament? Oh no.
There's one last real thing I want to talk about when it comes to the Wii craze.
Smeckin is
Before
real, AJ. Don't you disrespect Smeckin.
I'm not disrespecting at all. I want it to be a thing. Nintendo, get on it. We just gave you money.
Free
Um,
money.
Free money like we do to all these companies that are listening. Um, the Wii was the king of accessories, and that
Yes.
really started from Mario Kart Wii. Mario Kart
Mhm.
Wii, you slapped your Wii remote into the steering wheel, and it like opened Pandora's box, right? I mean, don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
dog.
There were a few things beforehand, but like that really was like whoa. And what's crazy is that wheel does nothing. It
Nope.
literally is a piece of plastic. You slap the thing in, and so
An
then
overpriced piece of plastic. They were expensive when they came
oh,
out, dog. It was like
absolutely.
$30. It was something
Absolutely.
stupid.
And so that that spawned a whole wave of stuff. You had every possible thing you could have for Wii Sports. Your golf club, bat, racket, all these things that did nothing to the gameplay. Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. If anything, it
Um,
made it harder to play.
yeah, yes, it did. It absolutely did. The one that I think besides the Wii balance board, because of course, like that accessory had true use, was the Zapper. I think the Zapper actually had some decent use to it because you would put it, up front, and it was like a gun rack thing. You had the nunchuck and back. Came with
Right.
Link's crossbow training, so that was fun. I mean, for any shooting games, I think it actually worked because it turned it into a rifle. I mean, a
It
very
really did.
small
And
one,
then
but
yeah,
it did.
yeah, no, it was very, very useful. One more thing because we are about to wrap up. AJ feels it, I feel it, we all know it. Are we just gonna go this whole Nintendo Wii episode and not talk about No More Heroes? Is that what we're gonna do?
Oh shit! That came out during the Wii, didn't it? I don't know
It
how I
came
forgot
out
about
during the
that.
Wii, dog. Yep. And the Xbox
Mm.
360 version was only released in Japan, and it's like $100 a disc to this day. So as far as the Western world is concerned, the Nintendo Wii is the only version of No More Heroes we got. So now what, AJ? How do you feel?
I want to play that game again. I don't own it anymore. I gave it to GameStop stupidly. Oh, I'm.
I mean, we all did, AJ. We all made that mistake, AJ. Don't beat
Mm-hmm.
yourself up. Blame the
Oh, it's
corporations that don't listen
such a
to
good
our
game.
ideas.
One
It's a
more
great
game.
game.
Two more games actually. I have to point out
Bring it
before we
on.
go. Sonic Colors came to the Wii and is a Wii exclusive, and it was the first good Sonic game in a while. Not amazing, but good, good.
Shout out Sonic Unleashed 2, honorable mention.
Yes. But besides that, this is a little less known, but it's near and dear to my heart. Big
Mhm.
Brain Academy, Wii degree. I don't know if you played it at all.
I didn't play it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Absolute banger. Me and my family played this a lot, when I was a kid, so it was like a good bonding time for me and them. And it's obviously brain training stuff, but it fits so perfectly on the Wii. I think it's such a great game, such like mini games, quick little puzzles. It just keeps you engaged, kind of like it has kind of like a Wii Play kind of feel, where it's like a bunch of bite-sized games.
I remember
um
Nintendo had something similar on the DS. It was like Brain ID or something like that. You could
Brain
take
Age.
like a Brain Age, yes, and you could take a bunch of specific tests. It'll tell you how old
Yep.
your brain is, and it was really interesting to see. But
Super cool.
yeah, no, it was like that, and Nintendo kind of carried that idea of like, hey, the game is for everyone, and everyone should be helped, and you can make it fun and interesting. And yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think they kind of continued that with the Switch. I think they just made Animal Crossing and ran with it. But
Absolutely. I mean, the Switch between Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, and like Animal Crossing, like they have their three pillars pretty much right there for like
yeah, I will
big
say,
boys.
yeah, I will say, I hope they bring that trend back with the Switch 2, whatever they call it. They're not even like acknowledging that it exists, which is so stupid. The Switch is 7 years old. Like, it's on the way out.
The Switch 2 is like one of their poorly kept secrets, like most poorly done. Like it's everyone knows about it. Like everyone's reported about it. People are corroborating each other's stories. It's happening. Like it's just a
Don't even
matter of
get me
when.
started on the fact that they called was it the 64? Yeah, it was the N64, Project Katana. They don't even have a cool like project name for the Switch 2.
No.
It's just the Switch 2. It's
Yeah.
like we know it's coming. At least give us Project Olympus. Just something cool. Like
I hope it's not actually called the Switch 2. I mean, we'll see. Time will tell.
Switch.
Obviously,
Ooh,
it
what if
didn't.
this is
It
just
didn't get
Switch Pro?
announced in March, like that was rumored. That never happened. So who knows
It
when
should
that's
have,
coming?
and I think there was a thing that the Switch 2 got delayed because they wanted to make sure they had enough stock so they didn't have the problem
I
they
did
had
see
with the
that.
Switch,
Yep.
right? So that did delay it, so it's not coming this holiday season. However, that doesn't mean it's coming next holiday season. It might, but
My
we
guess
might
is
be another 2 years away.
My guess is it'll be next holiday season. I mean,
I hope
they're
so.
gonna have it around then just for massive sales. That'd be super cool though, because that's such a bad thing with new consoles nowadays. And that could be a whole nother podcast topic. Is like scalpers. I mean, it's so bad. It's a problem with every console now. So like, it really sucks to be an early. Like, it sucks anyways, kind of to be an early adopter because there's less games. Like you kind of have to just deal with what release, and not as much anymore because backwards compatibility is such a normal thing now. But like, it really sucks. I mean, like my PS5, I tried for months and months, like hopping on right as they would become available to like no avail. Like it sucked because all these scalpers are just picking them up. I tried to get the Switch right away. Yep, all picked up. Like it's such a bad thing. So I'm really happy that Nintendo's trying to combat that.
Yeah,
because
same with
it's pretty stupid.
Sony with their PS4 Pro. Same with, I think now, because here's the thing, this past console generation was an unprecedented time period.
Yeah.
So it was just a prime opportunity for sneaker resellers to sell PlayStation 5s. Didn't think I would see that crossover, but it happened. As a sneakerhead, I'm a recovering sneakerhead. I look at sneakers all the time and I just growl. I just grrr. But but yeah, no, I think this is a new problem that they are now trying to address by not
Absolutely.
giving us what we want, But it's okay. They're giving us what we need. AJ,
Either way, we'd be waiting.
we will be waiting. AJ, anything else you want to tell our lovely people that we love and care about and think about all the time, even when they're not thinking about us? It's okay. We understand.
You know what? Dust off that old Wii that's sitting in storage. You know, find
Hell
a
yeah.
copy of Wii Sports. If you don't have yours, you can get online for super cheap. And you know, play some Wii Sports with your friends. You know, you hop on some Brawl, break out some Mario Galaxy, some Mario Kart Wii, and yes, Mario Kart Wii feels very different from Mario Kart 8 if that's what you play currently.
Insanely different.
Item balancing is fucked, and it makes for such a fun experience with friends because it's frustratingly fun, kind of like in the same vein as Mario Party.
Or like Mario Kart Double Dash.
Exactly, yeah. So, anyways, you know, as always, thanks guys for tuning in. It's always great talking to you. Anthony, do you have anything else to tell the people?
Just that we love you, and if you're gonna give something wholesome like Mario Kart or Wii Sports, you gotta play either Mad World or No More Heroes. Those are two of the most vulgar games on child-friendly consoles ever. Yes. Shout out. Actually, tiny story. I had a friend back in the day. They rented a copy of Mario Party. Right? They picked up a copy of Mario Party. They opened the disc. They put it in there. It was Mad World, and they're like, maybe I'm tripping, and so they played Bad World for like a good 2, 3, 4 hours, and they're like, yeah, no, this is definitely not Mario Party. Yes, that's all I got. We love you. AJ, do the thing.
As always, guys, stay mediocre.